Oh, it's muted.
We're muted, I think, dude.
Yeah,
Hi.
it's muted.
Wow.
Okay, let's start again, everyone, because I was just apparently muted.
It's a sign-only stream, guys.
It's going so well. It's going so well. But yeah, good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? What's going on? Welcome to the episode 6 of Merchants of Novigrad, a bi-weekly podcast where we discuss everything Gwent. And as I was saying while I was muted, today with me are my two trusty co-hosts, BJ and Lionheart. And with that out of the way, let me introduce you to our guest this week. And that's the Syndicate Fashion Ambassador, the Wild Hunt 1 winner, and one of the most popular Gwent streamers on Twitch, Trynet. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. Don't forget a Protector of the Realm, though. I got a lot more titles than that.
Protector of the Realm.
And a few words to our viewers. Guys, if you have any questions, you can ask them in chat. My dear friend BJ has been charged with the task of collecting them, and we're gonna answer the more interesting ones as we go. Also, if you are willing to stay with us off stream, you can follow us on Twitter at Novigrad Podcast. And if YouTube is the platform where you would rather watch this episode, it's gonna be uploaded a few hours after the live stream. Just type !podcast and you are gonna get all the links. So, now we can finally get to the actual show. What have you been up to, guys? And let's start with our guest, Trynet. What have you been up to? How is Gwent treating you?
I've been playing Hearthstone. Don't hate me.
And that wraps up this episode of the Merchants of Novigrad. Thanks, guys.
I've been playing a lot of the new Hearthstone Auto Battler. It's surprisingly fun. There's a lot of randomness to it, but there's still depth. One thing they did very well was making the genre much more accessible than it was in the past. With like Dota Auto Chess and Dota Underlords and TFT, just looking at the heroes didn't really tell you what they did. You had to like go into a stats page or read the wiki or play enough games to know how these things functioned. With the Hearthstone thing, it's surprisingly simple because you just have all the stats on the card plus whatever ability the card does. So just by reading the things and seeing their names in the stat line, you know exactly what they do. So the barrier to entry is much lower. You don't need to learn as much as to play.
It sounds almost like you were advocating for us to play Hearthstone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But I can totally relate to it. We all know where Gwent is right now, so it actually makes sense.
Where
for
is
people.
I don't know. I'd love to know. Please find it.
In the void, I would say. In the void.
Coming soon.
And speaking of people who haven't played Gwent in a while, Baby Joseph, how are things, my friend?
I mean, not much has changed since 2 weeks ago when we did the last episode. I played a little bit more Gwent, but I still have not streamed any Gwent because of my studying. But
That sounds like a good excuse not to play Gwent.
I mean, it's a great excuse. But yeah, I will be back in a couple of weeks for sure. Hopefully, the next patch will definitely steer some things up to the meta. Because it feels very, very still at the moment. I've been playing a couple things, like I've been playing Kian, for example, which is a really cool card that I've never played before. And that was really fun to try out. And yeah, I'm going to do a deck guide for the Gwent news on that deck, which will come out next week. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing, not much.
Is Gwent news actually still a thing?
I mean, it's gonna be a thing again. I heard it. I heard some words.
From your secret sources, you are not going to reveal this stream.
So yeah.
And Lionheart, how are things in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, very good. I've not streamed a great deal of Gwent either, to be honest. There's only so many hours of a day you can play before you feel like you're doing the same thing over and over and over. That is literally the definition of madness. But I have been streaming, I've been having fun, but with just random viewer games, Don't Starve Together and things like that, and co-ops, which has been really good fun. I'm enjoying seasonal mode in Gwent at the moment. I'm actually finding that really fun, just because it's different and you can play different things rather than the same 3 or 4 decks. So that's been quite enjoyable. But in general, yeah, just trying to be as consistent as possible and failing miserably as usual.
Yeah, I have to say, guys, we are off to a great start. First 30 seconds of the podcast, I'm muted, so I'm just talking to myself. And then we are just commonly bashing Gwent. I hope Pavel is now
advocating for Hearthstone.
Oh yeah, and Trynet was advocating for Hearthstone. But yeah, if I was to talk about what I've been doing recently, I'm really hyped for Path of Exile right now, as you guys probably heard in either the Merchants of Novigrad Discord or the TRS Discord. Huge fan of the game, long time player. So all the news that we got yesterday really got me excited for the future. I've been trying to stream Gwent, and I'm kind of like Lionheart. I don't really like the ranked play right now. There's not much going on, but I do enjoy Season 0 because it just gives you different ways to play the game. But yeah, other than that, I'm just doing the podcast, trying to stream Gwent at least once a week, and just waiting for the better times. So kind of like BJ, just waiting for the patch, see what changes, because things got a little bit stale. But other than, I mean, it kind of relates to Gwent, Trynet. You were casting the EGC a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
So how was that? Is that something you ever considered doing, or it just
I'd
happened?
like to get into more casting. That cast in particular was a little tricky because of the latency between me and Spiro. We're like a continent away. So on Discord, I would start my sentence, and then he would start, but his would start first on the stream.
Oh wow!
It was so hard to coordinate, like getting words in.
Oh yeah,
But overall, it was a fun experience.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm actually not so sure, but I think at some point I read somewhere, whether it was your TRS bio or your Twitter, that you would actually like to get into casting.
Yeah.
So how did you get this opportunity to?
Spiro sent me a message.
That's it.
As simple as that.
And this,
Just
how,
look into things. It's easy.
I mean,
yeah, this, ladies and gentlemen, is how things get done in Gwent. You just send a message.
No, you receive a message.
Even easier.
Message, yeah.
Unless you are the one organizing something, then you have to send the message.
Oh, just don't organize things. It's not worth it.
Thank you. I wish you told me that 2 months ago.
You're welcome. Now you know.
And another thing that I noticed during your streams is you've taken a very unique stance on the whole tie trading drama, and we've seen some polygraph streams.
Oh yeah, I have my polygraph right here.
Oh, excellent.
It's wrapped up,
oh.
but it's right here.
Oh, I see.
Here's my Halloween costume. I dressed up as Pronia.
Poor Pronio. And yeah, there's also been some stuff on the TRS website, I think. Of course, it's from a couple of weeks ago. You've been writing some articles about Gwent, or is it a single article?
I haven't written anything recently. There hasn't really been much to talk about. I'm kind of like starved for ideas. I had an article that I was drafting on like some more abstract theory things, but it never really came together as an article that made sense. Every time I draft something, it's either really clickbaity, boring stuff like the 5 cards to keep an eye on in the patch or whatever, or it's something that just doesn't make enough sense to post as an article.
Is it the kind of thing you want to look at in the future? You want to do more
Yeah,
on
like I
when
save
there's
my
more to write
drafts.
about?
Yeah, I save my drafts, but it's
Okay.
hard to justify publishing stuff that's shaky.
Yeah, I can.
The
understand.
clickbait's easy. Like, can't do clickbait wrong.
I can try.
I mean, writing articles or guides is something I do enjoy, and I know it's something that has been widely promoted within TRS. Like, I know that we've been trying to get BJ to do something.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I want to-
how are we doing that department, BJ? I know you are busy with real life stuff, with your studies and your thesis.
Yeah.
But when you are back, do you consider writing some stuff for TRS?
Yeah, I would definitely love to do more articles on like deck guides. Like for example, when I'm doing a deck guide for the Gwen news for Dr. Dennis, I could like for example write an article and then I could put that in the description of the video. I think that would be a great combination. And yeah, I mean I have no other ideas, but yeah, I would like to do more deck guides for sure. I think that's great because we kind of lack deck guides. I mean, of course, you do your deck guides, you know, your wrap up on the week.
Yeah, but these are bad deck guides. Like, if you care about
Not
winning, if you
competitive
care
deck
about
guides.
getting
Can't do those wrong either.
yeah, that's the best part. I'm a bad player, but I'm extremely good at being bad.
It's a skill. Add it to the CV.
If that actually makes any sense. And I'm asking these questions because there is not much doing Gwent right now, and I'm just trying to get an idea of what are you guys doing in your time if you are not playing Gwent. Because I can imagine everyone is kind of like playing. Okay, I'm maybe gonna get the rounds today, the 6 rounds, and I'm gonna do something else. And I know that some of you would like to get some community work done. Like you don't want to take a complete break from Gwent. You're not gonna play, but you're still gonna do other things for Gwent. So that's why I've been asking.
I genuinely love like Gwent, and I don't think I will ever like change any or go play any other CCG, for example, than Gwent. Like because I'm not a huge fan of CCGs, but I fell in love with Gwent because of The Witcher. So Gwent is also always very close to my heart. And then when I don't play Gwent, I mostly just play RPGs, for example. Like lately, when I have some time left, I just play Red Dead Redemption 2. But yeah, Gwent is always in the back of my mind. So yeah, I would love to have Gwent succeed and like keep playing the game.
I was the opposite to that, actually. I started playing Hearthstone before I played Gwent and ended up with Gwent. And I enjoy all CCGs, but Gwent's my favourite to play, and it's really weird. We keep saying Gwent's the most balanced it's ever been, but it doesn't feel fun as a result. We seem to have been given what we want, and no one's happy with it.
No one really wants a perfectly balanced game. Like Rock, Paper, Scissors is a balanced game. That's not the primary thing people look for when they're playing games in general.
Yeah, it isn't fun if that's the case, is it? That's the problem.
You want variety, you want things to be fun, you want things to be interesting, you want there to be strategic depth, all this stuff. All is way more important than just like some balanced idea.
Yeah, and I think we need to move back towards that, to be honest.
Are you suggesting we should have another Cancer's Digifolders meta? To make things a little bit more spicy?
Just because something's unbalanced doesn't make it fun either. It's just people are asking for things to be balanced. They're generally not caring all that much about balance.
No. As you can see,
it's more about variety and having new stuff on a regular basis.
Yeah, I think diversity is very important. Different archetypes to play, new archetypes. I think that's definitely the most important key when it comes to like card games, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it is really hard as a content creator to distance yourself from the game, at least for a while. Because before the podcast, we were talking about social media and about Twitter and about how Trynet mastered the art of Twitter. And recently, I posted a tweet where I said that I'm somewhat bored out of Gwent and I'm gonna play a little bit less regular. And instantly, I received multiple messages.
Don't post that on Twitter.
I did, and that was my mistake, right? I should have consulted with you beforehand. I didn't. So what happened was instantly I got numerous messages. People just telling stuff like, have you ever considered playing our Lord and Savior Mythgard? Like the Mythgard
death threats? Wow.
No death threats as of yet.
It's straight to cultism instead. It's great.
Yeah, but there's been at least a couple of people just saying, have you ever thought about Mythgard? It's a great game. So
let me guess.
Yeah, I already know which part of TRS these messages are coming from. But yeah, personally, I'm more like BJ. I got into Gwent because I love The Witcher. I love the books, I love the games, and it prompted me to check it out. Even though my first Witcher playthrough, I was not into Gwent at all. I was just neglecting it as long as I could. And then the second playthrough, I was like, yeah, let's see what's all this fuss about. And then I got into beta, and it was just, this doesn't really look like the Gwent I knew from The Witcher 3. But yeah, I feel like it's very common for Gwent to have these phases where there's a couple of months where people are just completely bored out of the game. Even though if you go to social media, they're gonna tell you that Gwent is at its best ever.
Yeah, and the thing is, with all these new people coming to Gwent because of the iOS release, they have not experienced the last couple months, right? So for them, it's like a fresh new season. But to the veteran players, it's more like, this again. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I'm telling people. If somebody asks me, is it a good time to get into Gwent? I'm saying yeah, sure, because the game is balanced. There's a lot of cool stuff in Gwent. The only problem is if you've been playing for a while, it just doesn't feel fresh anymore. Like you don't want to see any more Enslave and any more Mystic Echo and any more Pincer Maneuver or Wildcard. Like you've been seeing these decks for months. And I think on that note, we can actually move to the next segment, which is what's happening, and apparently not a lot.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Merchants of Negativity in this segment.
It's more of an anti-Gwent podcast at this point.
You know, you're laughing, but it's actually very difficult for us as hosts to come up with topics and ideas for an episode in a time like this where there's not much going on. Like, okay, we have to do the episode, but what on earth are we gonna talk about?
Yeah.
We've had the tweet, haven't we, from Powell saying that something's coming soon. We are looking at it soon. We've sort of reached the roadmap idea, but soon is almost Blizzard soon at this point with CDPR.
Yeah.
We don't even know what that means.
We got a soon on the season 2 announcement back in like May, right?
Exactly. What is soon?
We don't know what soon is in the definition of CD Butcher Crowd.
No.
Look, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that the reason we haven't heard anything about World Masters yet is because of the Proneo lawsuit. Yeah.
That's possible.
Is he actually gonna do that?
Took a polygraph, man. If you're taking a polygraph, you're already crazy enough to sue.
You're 100% serious. He's committing to
Yeah, but usually soon is like in a couple of weeks, maybe 1 month.
Yeah, or at worst, a cycle, so at least an expansion away. Whereas
It depends what company you're
that's
talking
soon
about.
to me, but
But
it's
soon's 3 years, so
It's so vague. You can't possibly say, okay, it's gonna be a couple of weeks or a couple of months. We just don't know.
no.
Like it's become a meme in any gaming community. Just soon TM.
Yeah. So true.
If you don't know anything, but you want to announce something, you say that you have an announcement soon, and it could mean anywhere from 2 days to a couple of years.
Look, at least they didn't say they're in it for the long haul. Then we'd have something
Give
to
it a
worry
week.
about.
Give it a week.
I mean, to be honest, we had Paolo on the show almost 2 months ago, and he was talking about the soon things already, and it's been a couple of months. And we haven't heard anything. So it all feels very vague. But I get that, I understand that a lot of people got somehow optimistic when he first tweeted that, because there is something coming. And then a couple of days later, we had that forum post where he said, yeah, we're gonna talk about this year and the future of Gwent, and hopefully the competitive part of the game.
I mean, you cannot even say that anymore, right? You cannot say hopefully anymore. You gotta say we are gonna talk about it. Point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people would just, do other stuff like jump ship or something. I don't know.
The best part about it is, we are in the middle of a very, very stale period, and this season is gonna be longer than usual.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I have so much time to catch up with Gwent and get back to pro rank now.
I mean, considering how many people are playing at that level, I think you can do it in a couple of days.
Yes.
Because there's been a lot of talk about new players, and if you go to rank, there is more than 100,000 players, and somebody who actually talked about player retention, at least within our own circle, was Trynet. Because it's very easy to get optimistic about, there's so many new players, but player retention is another thing.
I mean, I have no numbers to prove this, just my suspicion. Like, when we look at, Twitch growth is pretty awful this month.
Twitch what?
Growth.
Anti-growth.
I mean, it's more
Negative growth is still growth.
I would call it Twitch recession.
Well,
But I don't know how is it happening that people are watching Gwent less this month? What
I
happened?
think it's as much because less people are streaming Gwent. I genuinely think that's the correlation. We're not enjoying
Well, no,
it
because
as
my
much,
viewership's
therefore-
down just in general.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because there is...
This happens as every season goes on. Usually, the first week is really good, and then it starts to taper off from there. The only month that this didn't happen was the month that had the Challenger tournament.
That was a great
Where
month.
September just stayed good the whole month. Carried into October, it was great. Then October was really good. And now November is just, awful.
Yeah,
I think it's a
It shows the
combination of
impact,
things.
you know, that a
because,
community tournament or a tournament can have on the viewership and on the whole community.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a combination of things. If you have any kind of developer activity on Twitch, it's gonna boost the viewership. Whether it's a patch stream, whether it's a tournament, it's always gonna boost the viewership because people are following CDPR, so they're gonna know, okay, there's something happening around Gwent. So they're gonna stick for a while after that. And this is basically why September was so good and why the early October was so good, because the challenger effect, people were watching the tournament, people liked the tournament, people sticked and watch more because of the tournament. And of course, we had a couple of bigger names streaming Gwent. For example, Theobald. Like normally, we have our regular lineup, right? We have you Trynet, we have Spyro, we have Bushi, Shimiri, etc. And Pumpkin, of course. But in September, Theobald started streaming again, and that gave us another boost when it comes to viewership. And I think that as the time went on. That effect just basically vanished. Like, how long are you gonna stick to Gwent after watching the tournament? For a couple of weeks, maybe? Not a couple of months. And last month we had the expansion, we had the hotfix, we had the patch, because the patch actually deployed last month as well. And all of that resulted in a really solid October viewership. But in November, there's actually nothing going on. There's
iOS released. Where are all these iPhone people?
It actually happened. It actually happened last month as well. Last couple of days.
Oh, sure.
But that's how free-to-play games work. Like, people are gonna try it out, but are they going to keep playing long term? That's always a question. Yeah. Because we've been talking about other games, and I remember seeing an interview with a game developer for a free-to-play game, and he said something like, this game is so large, but the vast majority of players, and he gave us like a ridiculous percentage, never makes it to the first location. They download the game, they play for a couple of minutes, and that's it.
Yep.
Mm.
So I'm pretty sure that's something that also is going to affect Gwent, especially on mobile, because on mobile you really want to have like a very short sessions. When you are on the bus or a subway or you're going somewhere, you're not gonna get all the time to even complete the tutorial.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to speculate on this kind of stuff without having access to the numbers. Like, it's one thing to say that just looking at the number of people that have played a single ranked game this season isn't very telling, but it's another thing entirely to say we know that we don't have good retention. Like, we can't draw one from the other.
No. I hope it's the opposite. I hope that these people do come back and that playing it on mobile leads them to playing it on PC or on PS4 or wherever.
I would like to see those numbers more than the how many people have played a single game on ranked ladder numbers.
I don't think we ever will.
I mean, someone could have like a rank 20 account that they've taken screenshots of every season.
Yeah, but then it actually is telling you how many people have tried ranked in this particular season. It's not going to tell you how many games they played.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it just says how many people have played Gwent. Like, and the thing is, there are more people that have played Gwent now, but yeah, you don't see it on Twitch or anything.
Yeah, but Twitch is also a very specific platform because if you look at the sheer numbers of players trying out Gwent, we've kept a very stable base, I would say. It's around 60,000 players. It was much less before the Novigrad expansion. It was 40-something thousand players. Then we got a boost, and we are still on that same level. And, in that time, the Twitch numbers have been fluctuating. Like, 1 month you get better viewership, the other month you get absolutely terrible viewership.
Yeah. I think on YouTube, Gwent is doing pretty okay. Like, I've seen videos
YouTube's down from last month for me. I don't know about everyone else.
2K views maybe on a video.
It's hard to say because there's so many content creators on YouTube that it's really hard to say, okay, it's like overall Gwent has been doing great, because maybe for one content creator but not for the other. Like, if you are a smaller like if you are just beginning on YouTube and it's the first time you're getting some exposure, yes, your viewership is gonna be up. But if you are somebody like Trynet who's been on YouTube for a while now, you'll probably see a better you'll probably get a better view on of how things are on YouTube right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but the problem is really lack of communication. Like, even if they announced anything, it would still get more people involved in Gwent right now.
Yeah. It's just the continual meme soon that we don't know what we're expecting. You can't plan, and if people can't plan on the competitive side, they're less likely to play or stream or invest time, right?
Yeah, and one thing that I think we should avoid is another exodus of players, because that's what happened when Midwinter dropped, a while ago, and then we had the drought, and then we had Homecoming, and just so many content creators left the game, and that was, I would say, the number one reason why overall viewership on YouTube and Twitch just plummeted. We went from having a couple of 1,000 people on average watching Gwent to 400 or 500.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like iOS, okay, you bring people to the game, but how are you gonna keep them? And if nothing happens, then I guess they're just gonna leave. Like, simple as that, right?
Yeah, I think what CDPR is doing right now is the freebie approach. Like they are giving X boosts, free kegs, this kind of stuff to get people more involved in the game.
And I think that's great. I think that's really great.
I think the daily rewards work really well as well. There is that incentive to actually turn the game on now, even if you're only playing for a few rounds. That being there does help new players. It wasn't the easiest game to get into, and there is still that gap of new game. How easy is it to play? How quickly can I pick it up? But the fact that they're putting those things in aids that transition, I think, and I think that is a good idea. Trying to bring new players to the game in a free way can only be good for us long term. You're never going to retain all of them, but if we retain 10% of this new 40,000 people, all of a sudden that's another 4,000 people playing or viewing Gwent. So that should be a good thing, right? We've just got to make sure there's still a game to play when they actually stay.
10% is really high when we're talking about mobile game retention, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not saying we will. I'm just hoping that we do. This is me praying.
You are being
take
very
1%.
You are being very optimistic, and that's a.
You know me. I'm a beacon of optimism. Yeah. When Powell tweeted, I was like, "Excellent! Season 2 is next week. Masters at the weekend. Come on, boys!"
Can you
fades quickly, guys?
Can you imagine something like that?
I honestly, can you imagine? Literally, they would be hailed as geniuses if they ever do it. They go from soon, full scale debate, and then just, oh, by the way, guys, Masters is at the weekend. Cheers. Huh?
Yeah, I think that's not possible. I mean,
no, it wouldn't actually happen.
I mean, you never know. Maybe they talked to the participants beforehand and told them, okay, there's Masters coming, very soon, and you should get prepped. But I'm not an optimist. I'm always quite negative, so I don't really expect that. But we talked about before the podcast that if you have no expectations, you will never get disappointed.
Yeah.
But actually, for me, there's still reasons to play Gwent.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I was saying that for me, there's still reasons to play Gwent, mostly seasonal. But what do you guys think about the meta? Okay, it's still for us, but we are talking a lot about the new player experience. What do you think a new player is gonna see upon playing ranked and seeing the most popular decks? Is that something very enjoyable?
It'll take them a while to start playing against actual decks. I made a Smurf account
you did?
a couple weeks ago, earlier this season. We got to rank 17, and the whole time we queued into 2 real decks. There's one guy that had the full dwarf deck and one guy that had a full syndicate deck. And aside from that, we just kind of played NR piles and Novigrad piles and just cards people had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
that's true.
Yeah. If you're not a veteran player, if you played in a beta, for example, you have millions of scraps, so you can make the best decks. But if you're totally new to the game, it's gonna be really tough to make one of the best decks. So
a balanced meta is pretty much irrelevant for first-time players because they won't see the meta for 12 to 30 hours, depending on how long it takes them to rank up.
That's true. They won't even experience it, will they?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so Bushi trying to.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that as well.
Trying for a flawless pro rank, and hasn't have that much success.
Did he make it to rank 17? I think, on his best try.
Right, what?
I think, did he make one of his tries? Did he get to rank 17 or something? 17 wins in a row?
Maybe 17 wins in a row, maybe.
Something like that, yeah. Which is crazy in itself, but I guess down, as you say, rank 25 up, really, you're not actually playing against decks, are you? You're playing against random cards with no synergy.
I mean, you're probably playing a lot against starter decks.
Yeah,
and many of those.
To be fair, decks with random synergy are kind of what decks are in Gwent a lot of the time.
True. True. Yeah, true.
Random synergy is my favorite term in Gwent, because even when looking at decks like Hyper Thing, I was like, this is random synergy. It's not meant to be played that way. No way.
I mean, that deck was at least cool. Like, it built towards a plan. It had a very specific thing that it was trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
But like, look at the Clent deck, and it's just like, I'm going to play all these good points cards, and we're gonna kill everything you play and win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have some cool like 2-card synergies between like Thunderbolt Potion, Mad Kion, Prince.
Yeah.
But mostly
really
just
like
throwing
that.
the best cards that you can for the provision cost in the deck.
Yeah, to be honest, it gives me some early Homecoming vibes.
Yeah, perhaps.
Well, early Homecoming was like Eithne artifacts.
Oh
That
yes.
Yeah.
This really
It
cool
was
discard
so
deck, though.
painful.
Yeah, I
And
remember,
the problem early Homecoming was that even if you had an idea, you just look at the cards and you're like, there's not enough cards in the pool to make this deck even work. Like, you only are gonna have, 2-3 card synergies and that's it.
That's still a problem.
I remember
There's so many underdeveloped archetypes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played like, for example, you played like Discard and like Self Wound, for example. You played like multiple archetypes in one deck. That
Yeah,
was so
hybrids.
strange. Yeah, like a hybrid kind of deck.
That's not because you want to play a hybrid, because you can't have a full
Yeah.
deck for that, because there isn't
Exactly.
physically enough.
And they haven't added too much cards to certain archetypes. For example, they have not added any card with discard, for example. So I feel like they could still like work on that, like try to improve the archetypes, because most of the time you just see like these mid-range decks, right? Which which are pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, this card is probably one of the archetypes that I liked in the early Homecoming because people actually played it. But the reason they played it was not because of the synergies, they played it because of thinning.
Oh yeah.
And I think that was the main theme of early Homecoming. Just get all the cards you need to thin your deck to play the best cards you can possibly play.
Play as many golds as possible.
Yeah.
Was it really a thing to play as many golds as possible?
Yeah.
Because I actually remember a
The
guy...
brand deck? That's what the brand deck was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually remember people saying something like, you still have to keep the pre-Homecoming ratios, like, 10 gold cards, 15 bronzes, more or less.
You need a 16 card plan. You only play 16 cards over the course of the game. So just have 16 cards you want to play and discard the rest of them. That was the brand deck.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what they are, just get rid of them.
I mean, you played literal spores in your deck. Dimeridium Bomb.
Oh, deep.
You were not playing those cards very often.
yeah, just low provision cards you're gonna discard.
You only need 16.
Yeah, and aside of actually discarding cards, you also had stuff like the Witchers that were absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, like Nilfgaard was the same thing. Nilfgaard was just trying to draw all its golds and mulligan all the bronzes.
Yeah.
You played like 16, 17 good cards in that deck. You usually had to play a couple clunkers, but generally you're going to play mostly good cards. Outside of round 1 at least. That deck tried to play for like a 13 card plan. Would give up round 1 and then try to get there in the back 2.
So in that regard, the game actually changed because we have some valuable bronzes right now.
Yeah, it's been a great change.
Yeah. Particularly Northern Realms.
God, don't even
NR
get me
bronzes.
started on NR.
Wow.
Indraga Larva.
Oh yeah.
True.
I honestly feel like that card should not be able to interact with golds. I know it's probably far-fetched, and I know it's probably biased, but sometimes they just play 2 great golds with a Death Wish effect, and they play the Indraga. I'm like, just why?
You're talking about the Indraga Warrior.
You're talking about
Oh, it's a warrior.
Indraga.
Larva is
the normal the lava.
the Thrive.
Oh yes, it's Thrive. Oh, sorry, my bad. But the Indraga warrior is still...
It's a 4 provision consume. It's something we didn't have access to before. It's really nice to have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
good.
do like him.
Better than
Yeah.
Selena Harpy.
I would say the only like frustrating element of it is that Death Wish often has a very slow start because they want to set up things, and you have that illusion of having a comfy lead, and they just play Indraga Warrior, and you're like, okay, I guess I'm 20 points down.
You know it's coming. They have 2 Death Wish units next to each
Yeah.
other. You gotta calculate that in when you're figuring out how many points they have access to.
But I haven't seen Dead Wish. Is it still being played?
It is.
Like,
I'm not sure
Much
how
of
often, but it's
Pretty
being
much.
played.
It's mostly vampires and the unitless
Yeah,
decks.
vampires, right?
Yeah, unitless. Yeah, Keltulus everywhere.
Oh god.
Is Kelly really that popular?
I think
Hey
it's great.
Grimash, how you doing? I see you in chat. Keltullus friend.
I don't even have Cthulhu's.
Oh,
Like, you can see I'm a Novigrad player. I don't have the cards.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Or maybe
No, I do like it.
maybe
It's-
I have
that's
it.
fun.
Hold on. I probably have a... Yes, I do have Kelly, just premium. I don't have a standard
Because
Kelly.
of Thronebreaker.
Yeah, it's Thronebreaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a card that is powerful, but not too powerful, but it's just so damn frustrating to play against if you are swarming in any capacity.
Yeah.
And even if you're not swarming, they still have, the drones, 1 power units that can just burn without any kind of consequences.
I mean, just move it, Kappa.
I was gonna.
Oh yeah, like, because every
yeah.
faction has access to movement, right?
I mean, it burns when the Trynet comes down too. Like, just
mean-
moving it, it's still playing for its provision value a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that bad.
I think it's nice that you know if you're playing against Keltulus pretty quickly, so you then have to change your tactic. But I like that. I don't want to play solitaire. I want to have to interact with my opponent and change what I do because
I'm
otherwise
glad
I
this
get
card wins
really
to all
bored.
provisions. It was a little silly at 11.
Yeah.
I mean, there is many ways to counter it. Not only movement, but Universe Invocation, Korathi Desert.
Even Curse of Corruption if you're running it.
You can possibly lock it, and I'm not sure who's playing locks this season, but you can possibly lock it.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's getting valued when you play it immediately, so it doesn't matter too much, especially if like Stray's a Smollett. But if you play Universe Invocation, it's still killing your 2 or your 3, and then you're playing a card, so it's still trading up 3 points to your Invocation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great card. It's like it's always breaks even, or like almost always.
Yeah.
It's I would say it's one of those cards that are like low risk, high reward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
Value.
And
Worst
when
case, you just play a range draw.
yeah, you can. I've actually seen that.
Oh yeah.
Like with people not having enough, enough synergy, so they just play it on ranged. And then it's just another target you can use with Ozro if you are playing that.
Yeah, and especially against like Syndicate, for example, you want to do that, right? At least that's what I heard before. Like play Keltulus on the range row because Philippa. I'm not sure anymore, but
It
I heard
depends
that.
on the board. Generally, you don't care if they steal Keltullus, because it's still going to take stuff off their board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
yeah.
impact.
Fair
Yeah, it's
enough.
like stealing Artist, isn't it? It's still
Yeah.
going to work.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Eager. I really like that play. Surprisingly, I don't have a card because I have the full collection. I don't know why. Anyway, what I like about Eager is people play it in late round 3, even with 1 or 2 armor. Because if it sticks, you have 13 points. If it doesn't, you have a good target for Ozro.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a really solid play.
And you could even consume it, right? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can do it as well.
It tends to get eaten before it's even played a lot of the time now with the, is it the Whispers tribute? You eat it from hand so that you can Ozril it without the risk.
Also, just like play a Barbergazi or a Slizzard, play it and eat
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I would rather play that.
Insta-nom.
Yeah. I think that's more common than the Weavis is nowadays.
Yeah, so there's still a lot of cool stuff in Gwen. It's not like it's not like early Homecoming where you just play the best cards possible. Like there is still some synergies here. There's still some like really decent archetypes. Like personally, I hate to play against Death Wish, but I'm happy it's around. I'm happy vampires are around. I'm happy that monsters went from being one of the least played factions to be one of the more popular ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Skellige seeing some more play now, so
Yeah.
Oh
Everything's
yeah,
got
and
something viable.
You're talking about my favorite card, aren't you?
Super Sucrus.
Artist?
Yeah, Sucrus an artist. I'm not a huge fan.
I fell in love with Sucrus because of the oddball tournaments, but yeah,
Yeah.
this is a great card. Especially if your opponent doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean,
Like Ace of Place.
yeah, because until not too long ago, the card didn't see any play whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the same
It
goes
did
for
not.
artists. Like,
And
Like, when I think when Gulo and Villa were the first to play it, people were like, "Oh, new cards."
Yeah, I mean,
They look like they were having so much fun.
people actually play artist now. I was like, whoa, that's cool.
It is cool, but as we said before the show, you are going all in on a single engine. Like, can you actually win if somebody somehow gets rid of artists? Like, do you have enough points to win the game without artists?
It depends on what else you're running, I suppose. If you've got, the idiots into the boats, the priests, then the engine, they've still got some viable engines, it's just that's your main one. But I guess that's the case if you deny anyone's main tech, right? If you're running a Kaltulis deck and it gets completely denied and it's unitless, then you're not going to win.
Speaking of unitless decks, Ocean Mat. Like, whenever I tune in, it's some unitless shenanigans. He's like, am I gonna draw a unit round 3?
I don't blame the guy, I don't blame him.
There's so many cool things you can do with Monsters. Monsters has to be the most diverse faction.
It is. It absolutely is.
But he actually played some Nilfgaard unitless, right? Some
like, you know things are bad in Gwent when Oceanmat is playing other factions.
Ironically, when there's the most you can do with monsters in a long time.
Yeah, but he's probably been playing a lot of it.
Yeah.
I've actually seen people playing Gales. Is that a new thing? Like, is Gales making a comeback?
God knows.
Wait, what?
Nope. I see the Trynet's face. Nope, no way. He's not making a comeback.
That card is not playable.
I mean, it is playable. You can play it, but it's just not a wise thing to do.
You shouldn't play it.
It's a solid Elder Bear.
Oh, speaking of Elder Bears, have you guys seen it?
Oh, I think I know what you are talking about. Yeah,
no?
That video with the longest chain to play Elder Bear. Yeah, I saw it. It was fun content.
Yeah, that was a really good chain. Like, can you imagine something like that in early Homecoming? There's no way that could have happened. Because having limited consistency was one of the trademarks of Homecoming. Because people will like consistency, people will like to play all the cards, but on the other hand, a lot of people were complaining about every single game having the same course. Like, you always know what's going to happen. So I think that's what CDPR had in mind when they got rid of a lot of tutoring and thinning. But now it's back. It's not always the best option, but it's actually back. And do you guys think we are like... Is this the spot where Gwent should be when it comes to thinning? Like, should we have more thinning? Should we have less thinning?
I mean, thinning is good, right?
I think you're always going to have some element of it in a game where you can't guarantee you're going to draw your cards. If you don't have some, you're always relying on more RNG than you want, right? Just in card draws before even your plays. You've got to have some, I think.
Yeah,
I was never one of those people that thought Gwent games got too similar with the thinning. I never really understood that criticism, so...
I think it was criticism for the sake of criticizing things. Like, if there's nothing to complain about, let's complain about consistency.
I will find something, don't worry.
Right now, there's a lot of things to complain about. I'm not sure if our viewers are gonna enjoy that any longer, because this podcast has been one massive stream of complaining and whining about Gwent. But to me, it only shows that we actually care about the game. Yeah, because there's a lot of content creators who just moved something else without ever explaining why and ever caring to comment on Gwent. They would just play something else, and that would be the end of the story. But now that we are actually sitting here talking about Gwent, what's cool, what's not cool in Gwent. But maybe we could talk about some things that could be better in Gwent. Like, how do you make sure that Gwent has a proper player retention? Because it's been a problem since beta. There's always been people saying, of course we don't have any numbers to back it up, but there's always been people saying, okay, this is a great patch, but the meta got a little bit stale, people are leaving. Like, how do you prevent that from happening?
It's continual release of content, right? You've got to keep it fresh. I don't. It's not that I don't enjoy Gwent right now. I do enjoy Gwent. I've enjoyed Gwent in its current version. I need something to change again now. Otherwise, I'm just flogging a dead horse. Effectively, I need something new, and they need to be clearer with the transition, like the plan for that. I think this is what you've got to expect, so we can get hyped for it. At the moment, we're all just hoping, right?
Yeah, I've been really big on the continuous release cycle that they've been doing. Really, they did it before the drought too, I believe. Like every month we got like 6 new cards or something. There weren't full-blown expansions, but there were like these little balance patches that introduced a couple new cards. And since the first expansion was in March?
Yeah.
February?
Yeah.
We've been getting pretty substantial balance patches every month since then. I think that's been huge for the game being able to maintain its player base at least. Because as I said earlier, like as the month goes on, viewership tends to fall off, at least for Twitch. I don't know if the player base does the same thing. I imagine it does. But every time there's a new patch with a little bit of new content, with cards getting reworked, it always gets that little uptick. And it stays like that for like 2-3 weeks. And the cycle just continues.
Yeah, one thing that I would like to see is more like rank-specific rewards. Because there is like no incentive for you to play rank. Whether you or not you're competitive, it doesn't matter. You're just ranking up and you're not getting anything out of it. You know, before, if you reach a certain rank or like top 200 or anything, there will be some sort of bonus. And like people had a goal to strive towards.
Yeah, borders, titles.
Exactly.
Now you can unlock those in seasonal mode. Yeah.
And now these things are only like you can only get them from the seasonal modes. And you know, seasonal modes have very specific quests that people don't always enjoy.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Like sometimes I enjoy playing seasonal mode, but like most of the time I feel like it's a waste of my time. But I can understand that some people enjoy it, but yeah.
Yeah, I find it quite fun. It just means I'm playing cards I would never normally play. Because why would you? But to hit a single seasonal trigger and you know other people are probably doing the same thing, it could be quite fun. Sometimes you do just face roll them. There was one, play a certain number of soldiers, literally just went into a deck, created soldiers, just put them all in, and that kind of defeats the object, takes the fun away. But sometimes it is quite enjoyable.
Yeah, that's what I did with the Purify quest. Just find as many Purify cards as you can, and you know, play a couple of games just to get the quest.
Yeah.
But I think that the reward for seasonal this month are exceptionally good. Like the card back is really nice, and the reworked Mahakam frame also looks pretty nice. But as I said, like we need something that is gonna attract people to play rank, because the way they tried to do it was to disable casual for people, and it completely backfired. Like people did not enjoy that at all.
I know the answer. And the answer is Season 2.
Oh my god, he's got it. The man's genius.
That's a very different group of people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Different people care about there being a Season 2 than people who just want to have progression in the ranked.
Yeah.
But the thing about competitive play is it always shifts the meta. So even if you have a patch without any new content or without any major reworks, you know that the fact that there's a tournament will result in the meta being shifted. Because that's what happened during the drought.
Even if they're not good for ladder, it's still something worth giving a shot to.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you saw Paja, right? He played Kian in the EGC. And people are playing Kian now too. Like, some cards are just overlooked, I think. So when these community tournaments are like just, you know, competitive tournaments from CD Novigrad, if they're being played, like it definitely has an impact on the meta. And I think it's great.
It's always been like that. So in my opinion, instead of having an expansion every 3 months, maybe we could have like a proper development cycle when, you know, you have a patch with some content and then you have a balance patch, but in the same month, as you have the balance patch, you could have a tournament of some sorts. And that would always keep the community interested, because shortly after the tournament, there'll be some new content. Like, at least that's what would keep me playing the game, because okay, I would know, okay, we have some new content, I'm gonna play, I'm gonna try new things, see the new cards, new mechanics, stuff like that. It doesn't have to be much. And then the next month, I will definitely come back because there'll be a tournament and it will completely shift the meta again.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just wait a couple of more weeks and once again, you have a content patch.
Yeah.
Like, in many ways, I feel like we are going through another drought. Like, we have new content, but it doesn't have that much of an impact.
Mm.
And then the thing is, like, they have this cycle, right? Expansion every 3 months. If they do it the same thing with like tournaments or even like LAN tournaments, doesn't have to be like official Gwent Open or anything. Like, if you have like a LAN tournament that people can qualify for every 3 months, that would be really great for the game.
Yeah, except I don't really think that a 3-month development cycle is necessarily good for a card game like this. Like, it works for other games. Like, you can see
Maybe.
that being used as some sort of framework for other games where they expect the an enormous influx of players in the first month, and then they know, okay, it's gonna slowly decrease to a point where there's barely anyone playing, and that's been factored in. But I think card games are meant to be played all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, okay, I'm gonna play the first month and then I'm just gonna play something else for 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, you can always like do 1 month you rework or buff or nerf cards, then you have like an expansion with new cards. Maybe that needs a hotfix, maybe that needs to change a little bit, and then you have like tournaments. So if you make a schedule like that, I think that should be fine though. Just as long as every month something is happening, and not like this month where nothing happens.
Well, iOS release, they sped up the game. There were a couple of balance tweaks. They didn't do nothing. It just didn't do much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't content based, was it? It was quality of life based.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But like those changes, they need to have an impact on the game.
Mm.
Yeah, I think our opinion is a little bit biased because we are content creators, so we often look at things like that through from the perspective of Twitch numbers or YouTube numbers. So
I mean,
maybe Gwent.
For me, Twitch numbers are kind of what matters, right?
Oh yeah,
If the game's
it's your
growing, that's
living.
great, but I kind of need Twitch numbers to also go up in kind.
Yeah, it makes sense for you, but it doesn't mean that Gwent is dead or anything. It's actually become a meme of some sorts.
Yeah, okay. But like for me personally, I want to have fun when playing the game and when streaming the game. I don't personally care too much about viewerships because it's not my full-time job or anything. I just do it on the side. But like as long as Gwent is like really enjoyable to play and there keep to be things changed, then I'm a happy man. So
Yeah, I think how it works for many content creators, certainly not all of them, but many of them, is they don't really play outside of stream, or if they are not recording a YouTube video.
I mean, that's pretty much for me the case. I used to, when I had more time, I used to play Gwent off stream as well. But as of late, when I play Gwent, it's most of the time it's just when I stream. So yeah.
The only time I play off stream is on iOS.
Yeah, and I know other streamers have the same thing. Like they just don't have time to play outside of streaming.
Yeah, because part of our experience is not only playing the game but also interacting with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first thing you notice. You see that your viewership is down, and you see like fewer people in chat, or you see like less interaction in chat, and that automatically discourages you from playing Gwent because you are only playing on stream.
Yeah, perhaps.
I mean, that's how it works for me. I can speak for Trynet because his chat is always active.
Yeah. So for me, it's like when the game is bad, that's one thing. When viewership is bad, that's another thing. It's when both are happening at the same time, which is kind of happening right now. Not to say the game is bad, but the game is definitely fairly stale. It's not particularly enjoyable to play. That's when it starts to get kind of painful to stream Gwent.
Yeah,
it's understandable.
Yeah,
one or the other you can deal with, right? Because you can almost have fun with the fact
at
that
least
it's bad,
something is going well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you can see that a lot on Twitch, just people trying out other games. Like we have another cycle of Legends of Runeterra. People are playing that game. You've been playing Hearthstone. I've seen people playing the new Kojima game. I forgot the title.
Oh, Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Yeah, Death Stranding.
FedEx Delivery Simulator 101.
People are trying different things.
Yeah,
it's different if you're streaming Gwent for 3 hours at a time like me, and it doesn't really matter. But if you are streaming like every day for 6 hours, 7 hours a day, you are gonna get bored.
Yeah, I'm still like impressed by some people that are able to stream only Gwent all the time. I mean, I've been doing that for quite some time, but then I switched some things up by playing some variety games once in a while.
I promise you, we're all losing our minds.
That's reassuring. I wasn't sure.
Our sanity level is going really low.
Yeah.
Was it you who said that you keep pretending Gwent is good?
Oh yeah, that's Trynet, right?
I think that was Trynet.
Yeah,
I think that was quite off the record.
If we believe hard enough, boys, it'll happen.
And I'm not watching chat, but he probably typed something like, "I've never said that, I swear to God."
Yeah. A faction ambassador stripped.
I mean, that's the curse of being a faction ambassador. Like, faction ambassadors have the tendency to disappear for a while.
Oh dear.
I mean, you see that with a lot of initiatives when it comes to Gwent. Like, I remember Commander's Horn, which is a great podcast. I absolutely love Mike Beard. Like, he's a great guy. But, it was a weekly podcast. Then he said it's going to be bi-monthly, meaning every other week. And, it's been like 3 or 4 weeks since the last one.
It's an occasional podcast.
Yeah, how did he call it?
Occasional podcast, that's genius.
Yeah, he didn't call it occasional podcast. I forgot what he called it, but it essentially came down to that. Because
As required.
like, even for us, it's difficult to have an episode like this because, well, what are we gonna talk about?
I mean,
Like,
we're
luckily,
just
we have
having
a
fun.
really, really cool guest this time who we can just crack jokes with.
We can talk about Hearthstone.
We can talk about Hearthstone too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can we rename the podcast?
Right, end it now.
Hearthstone podcast.
Hearthstone auto chess.
Switch the
Oh,
category
no.
on Twitch.
Well, let's just
I
go
don't know, I
just
have
chatting. Just end it now, guys.
I have nothing to say about Hearthstone. I've never
I've never played it either. I understand why people are like. I remember I have a real life friend who was always into Hearthstone, and for months, if not years, I was trying to convince him to play Gwent, and then he decided to play Gwent when fucking Homecoming dropped. Like, all my good work in 2 years or something went down
I am
the drain.
so glad that I can finally shit on how bad Homecoming was when it released without my community yelling at me.
If anyone disagrees
Those
with
first
me,
months were so awful.
so
yeah,
many people left.
definitely.
I just stopped. I was just like,
I
no,
mean-
no more.
I mean, I enjoyed it because I was playing Shiro with artifacts, but
Oh, you're such a bad person.
BJ, I'm not sure if that's something you want to admit on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
if I were
every time,
you,
BJ,
if I
you're
were
fine.
you, I would keep quiet, and I would delete every single record, every single footage of you ever playing that.
I mean, I remember.
You couldn't
I-
say anything bad about it, though. The people that always support CDPR no matter what would yell at you.
Yeah, but that's another thing. We briefly discussed that the last podcast with Jaguars, because 1 month she got a lot of hate on Reddit for not playing the game, for not being active, and being an overall trash ambassador. 4 weeks passed, and there's another post just praising Jaguars for all her work. And this is kind of how it works on Reddit. Like,
I was gonna say, Reddit's not
sometimes you
consistent, is
have
it?
legit criticism, but but Reddit is in its positive state, so you know that if I'm gonna post it right now, people are gonna hate on me. I'm gonna get a lot of shit for saying anything negative about the game, even if that's a legit complaint. But then sometimes you are enjoying Gwent and you just want to say it, but you can't because Reddit is overly negative, and if you're gonna say it, they're gonna call you a white knight, a CDPR fanboy, and whatnot.
That's
There's
just a
different
Reddit
people.
swing.
There's a lot of people on Reddit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like, what, 80,000 people is following the.
It exploded with mobile.
Oh, I don't think it did.
I was looking at the metrics. Let's see. Redditmetrics.com. Gwent.
It's honestly something I never use, Reddit. Genuinely, I just avoid
I
it generally,
sometimes,
almost exclusively.
Yeah, I'll link it in the Discord.
Yeah, I sometimes look at the Reddit.
I guess exploded is the wrong word, but there was a bigger growth this month than there has been in a very long time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Any
much
growth has
bigger.
got to be good for the game, right?
But it just comes down to more people playing the game. even if it's only mobile. And actually, a lot of new players who are familiar with Reddit are gonna visit the Gwent subreddit, just ask questions and then see what people are playing and stuff like that. You are not necessarily aware of the existence of websites like Gwent App and stuff like that. So like Reddit is quite often like the first sort of medium you're gonna check out after trying a new game.
Yeah, everything's got a subreddit these days, right?
Oh yeah.
So it makes sense. It's good that there is that out to, again, draw players to the game or help them find new information. You'll find guides there a lot on the actual game, for instance. So it's a good thing to have.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
Sometimes.
You just need to filter out what's relevant and what's not.
Yeah.
I mean, the Gwent Reddit is not only like discussions and stuff. It also has some really great memes.
Oh, the meme potential.
Yeah,
that's
the meme
one thing
potential,
I'm
man.
still somewhat sad about, because beta had amazing meme potential. Like the amount of interactions you could come up with was almost endless. And now there is some cool stuff, but not anywhere near what we had in beta. And that was one of the reasons why I stopped playing when Homecoming dropped. I was like, this is not enjoyable. Like, I don't want to play, the Witchers and the Broach in my deck. I want memes. I want some cool interactions that are not necessarily going to win me a lot of games, but they're going to make for an amazing clip every now and then.
Yeah. I suppose that's kind of what you have to use casual or seasonal for these days. You can't really do that on ranked unless you're happy to not win ranked, right?
Oh yeah, and I think this seasonal mode is really good for that. Because you have a lot of decks that, or maybe not a lot, but at least a few decks that have a really strong single round, and you'll not play them in ranked because okay, I win round 1. What do I do round 2 and 3? I don't have any more tools to play with. And now that you have resilience, you can just do it. You can just drop all the engines and hope that your opponent is not gonna have Kalkstein or Equinox or anything of the sort, and that your stuff survives. So you just go all in on round 1, and then you have all the engines set up just waiting for you round 2. That's what I've been doing with Assimilate. It's just so fun to play.
Yeah, it changes the way you play the game. You're literally playing to 0, which is completely the opposite of what you normally need to do, right? But that's good.
Yeah, and the games are shorter, so they are more interesting. Because
Well, at least different.
Yeah, because quite often, if for example, if you don't have any carryover because your opponent has a lot of Purify, and you just go into round 2, like you lost round 1, and you see that your opponent has like 30-40 points on the board, and you have like 3, it's game over. Like that the game is over much sooner than in ranked play.
True, yeah, I suppose you go through more games, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've never played as many games on stream as I did the last time when I played seasonal. I see Trynet has been reading something. I've seen some smiling action. What's going on there?
Nothing. Don't mind me.
Yeah, don't mind the guest.
I'm just a guest.
Just a guest.
Happy to be here. That's why I'm smiling. That's all it is.
I feel like I should check chat for some more information.
No.
No, it's all fine. Guys? You're all good.
Any smilers in chat? How many hours of Battleground has Trynet played on stream? Off stream.
Wait, Battlegrounds?
Is that what Hearthstone's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Hearthstone Battlegrounds or something like that, right?
I did not even know that, man.
It's tragic.
Yeah,
he's actually playing now, that's why he's smiling.
I don't know anything about I don't know anything about other CCGs.
Picked the wrong podcast to host, my friend. This is Merchants of Gadget Zen now.
They're taking over.
I mean,
welcome back, everybody. On this segment, we're going to talk about Ice Block.
No!
How good is Ice Block?
To be honest, the only ice block that I've ever known was a spell from the Gothic games. And I think the average age in chat is just way too low to even know what the Gothic games are. I played them on stream, and the first one was released like 19 years ago. Almost 20, I think.
Wow.
But have you been actually trying seasonal other than the couple of encounters where someone just played Shoop and conceded?
No, I played one game. That's what happened. Then I decided to go to arena instead.
Arena.
I like seasonal arenas. Really like rapid. It's almost anxiety fueling how quickly you have to play. You literally cannot play your leader. Do not have time.
It's so great when streaming too. Because try to talk to your chat too.
Wait, I've not even played arena this season.
Oh, it literally gives me anxiety whenever I'm trying
it's
to play.
It's essentially Blitz, right? It's the same rules we had a couple of months ago. I
Yeah.
did not enjoy that. I'm a very slow player, and I like to talk to my chat.
I literally just have to click a card and hope. Let's go, play.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
Probably
any
try that
additional
out.
effects, any tutoring is not allowed.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had Kalenth. I'm at 5-0 right now with Kalenth.
No.
You were
I hardly
actually
lost
playing
defending.
pincer maneuver?
Wow.
Yeah, but Arena is something I haven't tried since Homecoming, to be honest. Is it worth playing
You're
right
not missing
now?
out on much.
I mean, it's better
Yeah.
than before because
It's
now you
just
can
different.
pick your leader.
It gives you a break.
I remember that one of the main complaints about Homecoming was it's basically Arena now. Kind of felt that
Wait,
way
what?
too.
Okay. The only reason I've been playing Arena recently, I've realised that I don't know anybody that has 100% of the achievements on Gwent. The highest I've ever seen is 98%. I'm currently at 90, and I've got 5 achievements left to do. 3 of them are Arena. I'm trying to get to 100% Gwent officially.
Campus has 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm determined to get there. I want to do it.
I thought you were gonna say I'm not gonna do it anymore. Somebody.
I give up. That's it. Fine. Tell me more about this Hearthstone thing.
Yeah, but actually,
I'm determined
what
to do
made
it.
you play Hearthstone? Did you play Hearthstone before Gwent, or somebody just
Not
suggested it to
really.
you?
Just the Battlegrounds just came out on like the 11th. Brand new
He's
game mode.
trying it out.
It's not really Hearthstone.
No, it's
Totally
nothing like
different.
Hearthstone, is it? It's just
No,
the
nothing at
characters
all.
from the sort of Warcraft universe.
Well, it's also got the same like cards, but cards work so differently that it's not
Yeah.
the same game.
It depends on if you want to play effectively like an auto chess game or a CCG. They're completely different, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, guys,
Yeah.
we've been talking about stale Gwent for a while now, so I guess
Yeah.
it's a good
As long as
moment.
Gwent's been stale, we've been talking about it.
It's a good moment to move to
Podcast
an
also
even staler topic, which is the competitive Gwent and the lack thereof.
Wait, what?
Competitive Gwent. Do we have
Ah.
any news regarding competitive Gwent, or do
No.
we have to rely on some memes from a couple of weeks ago?
I think memes are where we're at.
I mean, there's
Yeah, I think we're memes
Yeah,
now.
I honestly, hand to God, I enjoyed the Thai training accusations. Because it was just so hilarious to read all that stuff. And I know that Trynet has taken that to another level.
I find the polygraph way funnier than the titrate stuff.
Yeah, honestly, that was...
But it was related,
There's
wasn't
like
it?
some substance to the titrating, but the polygraph is just next level.
The picture of that was just amazing.
Oh. It took it straight from something we should... it was insta-meme. It was straight away, okay, I can't believe I just saw this. I'm watching like a talk show. What is happening?
But the amazing part is that it had so much meme potential. Like the day one of the accusation of the whole thing, you already had memes on Twitch. Like people saying like, I swear to God, I even took a polygraph on that. Or people just losing the game and asking, okay, Thai trade, stuff like that. Like, I want to Thai. I really like that part of the thing, of the whole drama that it just took like on Twitch instantly. It wasn't something that was created by anyone. Like people instantly knew what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, just let CD Projekt Red, investigate those accusations.
We've only got half a picture, I suppose, haven't we? We don't know. We only know what we've seen on one random YouTube video that's half translated, and most of us spend more time looking at the. My Russian's not great. I'm not going to lie to you, so I'm
The
relying.
language barrier makes this whole situation, this whole drama, so miserable.
For all we
It is
know, we're
so
being
hard
completely
to
trolled.
communicate with everyone on each side.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we could be being trolled by Russian Gwent, who is literally just saying, "Ha, these fools will buy it," and I have no idea. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
The best part is that only portions of the video were translated.
Yeah,
It almost felt like they deliberately tried to keep information away from you.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm only gonna tell you this part. And you know, if you look at all those screenshots, like parts of the discussion were blurred and stuff like that. It was like really trying to push an agenda.
yeah, it didn't feel like the right way to deal with it. I suppose it's CDPR need to look into it and deal with it properly, and we've got to trust that they will, right? So
Soon.
to post that video out there to create hype around it just puts pressure on them when they should be dealing with it anyway, I guess.
I mean, to be
Look,
honest,
community drama is keeping this game alive. Can we just embrace the drama?
That's true.
We need
That's
Freddy,
true.
man. Where's Freddy's response?
Let's go find him now. Come on.
Detective Freddy.
I mean, he's been playing some Teppen. I don't know.
Oh god.
If he's,
Everyone's
if he's
been playing
caught up
Teppen.
with the drama.
Oh yeah, I know that Flake has been playing Teppen. Like, that guy is all over the place. Mythgard,
gotta get
Teppen,
sponsors,
he used to
man.
play Magic.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah, drama it really is what keeps this game alive. You know, at least in a season like this, there's not much going on, so you can always rely on some drama.
mm.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose at least people
Maybe we should
talking
change
about
the
it.
format of this show to be less
We should
less
create
of a podcast
drama.
and more of a Dr. Phil like stuff.
Merchants of drama. I see it now.
Excellent. Oh.
I mean, that's kind of what Gwen News is for, right?
Gotta have
I
some
mean,
rest.
I don't know. Like, when was the last time we had Gwent news? A month ago?
It's been a while. It's been a while. Not longer, I think. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. No worries.
Yeah, hopefully, because there is no official Gwent news. Like, I always kind of laugh when I see This Week in Gwent.
It's too short.
Like, I mean, it's a minute and a
that's-
half, but
that's
it could be like
right.
30 seconds. Like, you know, this week in Gwent, nothing happened.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the community's arranging tournaments and trying to do things. Right, some of them are only meme works, are actually competitive. So, and obviously, yeah, there is a roadmap soon, much soon. So, I guess.
We already know how this roadmap is gonna likely look like.
we
It's gonna
we
be
think.
a list of vague promises that CDPR hopes
Maybe.
to get for Christmas.
Look, I am Captain Optimism, okay? So I am convinced we're going to get a detailed and thorough roadmap, okay?
Optimism. Get out of Merchants of Negativity. What are you doing
wrong
here?
podcast. CDPR who?
Trynet will be our new co-host next
Yeah,
I've been
guys,
picked.
we are changing the format of the show. Like, Lionheart has decided to leave us on this very sad day.
Sorry, there's no room for optimism here. I apologise. That's a shoot.
There we go.
Now optimism went.
Yeah, it's part of the fun. But
Actually,
yeah,
speaking of optimism, you said something about community tournaments, and that's really something that also keeps this game alive. Like, we at EGC, we are having Bushes Bro. We have. I love Oddball. Are you guys watching Oddball? You are playing
it was
Oddball.
I played in the Oddball recently. It was so much fun. I mean, I got demolished by Lord Bushwalk, but I had a great time doing it.
Like, you are like
was,
the rules of the second one, where you are only allowed to play cards with facial hair.
I mean, that was so much fun.
Top
to
of the
play.
game.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
I'm trying
For those of us that may be less involved in the Gwent community, can you explain what the Oddball tournament is?
Yeah, have you not watched it? Trynet?
I don't know what it is.
He's really okay. So Oddball is basically we create these own kind of meme tournaments. So we create our own specific rules. So the first tournament was like you have to play with 35 cards in your deck. So with what I did, I put 4 gold cards in the deck, and the rest was like 4 proficient bronzes to play the deck. And the second tournament was like this rule that you could only play cards with facial hair. So the card
November hype.
Yeah, because it's Movember, right? So it was like 50% of the card art had to have facial hair. So if you have like a dude and like a chick,
Yeah.
the dude had at least needed at least some facial hair. And you could play Muscle because Muscle had like facial
It
hair.
was pure fluff. Yeah. Facial hair and fluff only.
So we had these rules, and it's really fun to participate. And Trynet, you should definitely participate in one of the future ones.
Like, I really
Definitely.
like the hype around the tournament. Like BJ, even you posted some, like you were matched with Ace of Place.
Yeah,
And of course, the guy has like a massive beard. So you
Yeah,
posted something
he
like,
fits
"I'm at a disadvantage here."
yes. I tried to grow a beard, but
It didn't go very well.
You would not have counted if you were card art. We discussed
Yeah.
this. Mini tashes are a 0, right? You do not count.
So yeah, I mean,
No, but it just mixes it up a little bit, doesn't it? It's their own. It's only for fun. It's a bit of fun between creators, but it's
Yeah.
different. We're exploring cards that you just do not see, you don't get to use,
Exactly.
and creating synergies that, while they wouldn't win on ladder, might win in an oddball tournament.
yeah. So in the future, maybe there will be like a female only card art tournament, or like
Mhm.
there are some plans in the work, but probably beginning of next year, as I heard.
Yeah,
Maybe like a Christmas edition.
Yeah, I mean, could you
festive
do that?
only. Mm. So just dwarves. There's enough of that on ladder.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can create a lot of rules. You can create rules where you are not allowed to play certain cards. Like, one thing that I always had in mind when it comes to tournaments is design a tournament where like you have like referees who are gonna look at the meta and they're gonna create the list of cards you are not allowed to play.
Yeah, I mean,
Just to
that could be
highlight that,
fun.
hey, we actually have other archetypes in this game.
I
Or
mean,
you could make rules where you are only allowed to play bronzes.
I think Bieber Boop should be a referee in that case, because he was complaining about other participants playing meta decks in these oddball tournaments, but it did not even look like a meta deck, in my opinion.
The only one was dwarves, and we all banned it anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, 35
okay.
cards.
No.
That's meta deck, except it's not this meta.
Yeah, it's beta meta. It's fine.
So yeah, but we try to invite multiple content creators to these tournaments to participate.
And when they say no, I get to play.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's fun because every content creator can upload a video about it, and like some people really enjoyed it.
Yeah, only if we had the spectator mode to make things easier.
Yeah, I agree.
Make it a lot easier. Like right now, we have to record our own matches and send it to the other person, and then
Yeah, it's a lot of editing work, isn't it?
Yeah,
Genuinely,
you
the
can see
number
that
of-
with Bush's bro as well. Like, he said
Yeah.
specifically that you are supposed to stream the whole thing
Yeah,
to make it
recording
easier.
games. Yeah.
And it's one of those promises that have been made eons ago, and they still haven't followed up on that. Like,
Yeah.
we
It's a
asked
strange one
about
not to
this 2
release
months
it.
ago, and Pavel said it's not our priority.
Yeah, but why? They obviously have the functionality. It's a bit of a strange one because they obviously keen. There's so much effort going into making these tournaments. Sometimes there would be so many more if the tools were readily available. Like, I'm not going to spend hours of my life editing YouTube between two people. I was hugely grateful that someone did that for me for the odd. Great, but it's so much more work than it should be.
Definitely, and I just don't really understand their reasoning here, because they have the tech. They implemented that for the purpose of their own tournaments. So what's the problem with having that readily available at anyone willing to organize a community event like that?
We don't know how it works. It might be a pain to get set up. It might only work in the one client for whatever reason.
It's possible.
Yeah, it is possible. Like, I don't know anything about technology. Like, it was not explained to me how it works, but they have it, and they promised us we will have it, except that promise was made, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I suppose it's probably difficult to actually implement it with the same version of Gwent we have now, because it's a running client where all cards are available with dummy accounts rather than current Gwent, I suppose. So you'd be giving it to people where, would you play real Gwent if you could play that version of Gwent, maybe? Because you don't have to work to gain cards. Maybe that's what they're worried about. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Trynet, have you ever considered playing in community tournaments? Like, you did that with Wild Hunt, but since that, like, things have been kind of quiet when it comes to you and the tournaments.
I play in like the challenger qualies or the open qualies when those happen, but there haven't been any of those since like February. So
That's awkward.
yeah, I played in the first of the EGC tournaments, the Team Rankstar one.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
But I didn't play in any others. Mostly because they just didn't have any prize pools. There's no reason for me to play.
yeah. That's what Tilbert also said. Like,
Yeah,
if
exactly.
there's no prize pool, then I don't see any point to play it because you have to sit down behind your computer screen for so many hours, and then if you win and you don't get anything in return, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think the only other one that had a prize pool was the TLG one, and that was just at an inconvenient time for me.
yeah. That one had a prize pool indeed.
I mean, EGC was kind of interesting because I'm not sure what the prize pool was, but they would fly you to Italy, so you would get some time off in a beautiful city in Italy, so that's kind of a reward of its own.
That's only if you're from the EU, though.
Yeah, only from EU.
We
Otherwise,
actually
it
had,
would be
I'm not sure if
flying.
you watched that episode of Merchants of Novigrad, but when we had Flake here, he explained like what was the idea for having Wild Hunt 3.
Yeah.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, and that was pretty awesome, and I'm still kind of sad that once again CDPR decided not to follow up on this. They just told them, okay, we're gonna get back to you, and they never did.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to Wild Hunt 3 since Wild Hunt 1.
Yeah.
I love those two tournaments. I still remember Wild Hunt 1, like even though it was just not my time zone, I still watched. Like that was so
same.
The production was like really high quality, and you had swim in there, you had all these competitive players, the great commentary, like overall great setup, and just amazing effort from the community.
Yeah, as someone who played a lot of physical card games in the past, I played a lot of Magic, I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! At the higher levels. Just having this open LAN environment was really cool. Where like these 8-person opens are nice and all, but the effort that goes into qualify for those is so different than just the average person can just show up to Nerd Street Gamers for 30, 40-person LAN event.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I personally think it would be cool to have like a LAN to qualify for like a Grand Open. Like
That would be fantastic. I'd definitely go.
just top 200. I'll go to these events. They all play, and then the best 8.
Or even free for all. Because I think that's what Wild Hunt was. There wasn't any rules regarding your positioning on the ladder.
Yep.
Like I remember there was guy, Defiant Ship. He was a beginning streamer, beginning player, and he thought, you know what? I have a car. It's like 3 hours drive. I'm just gonna drive there and play. He got 3-0'd, and he was like, that was still an amazing experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean that's yeah. I mean that's pretty good. Pretty good point. Everyone should be able to participate, and if they make it, then they deserve to play the Grand Open, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's not that everyone deserves to participate in every tournament, but it'd be nice if there were some lands that everyone
At least a tournament.
Doesn't even need
Yeah,
to see
even if it's
it,
once
though,
per
but-
season.
Yeah, just having something that these people can play in.
Yeah.
I know, I'd definitely go.
Yeah, I
That kind of thing.
love
I'd be
Wild Hunt
there.
3.
Like
Yeah.
we still have to organize that event in Gwent.
Oh yeah.
It's like an hour from me, so that works for me. I will drive.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's so trying. I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's a place in Wales called Gwent, and we've always dreamed of having an event or a tournament there, like playing Gwent in Gwent.
The town of Gwent.
That's where Ches is from, right?
Yeah, he's from Gwent.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's so hilarious,
That's indeed hilarious.
and he's actually back. Like, I saw him stream the other day. I'm not sure if that was something he's intending to do long term, but I saw him play. I saw him stream.
Alright, okay. I didn't realise he was back.
He's back.
Okay.
And what do you guys think about? I mean, because one thing I've been hearing constantly is, without competitive scene, Gwen is gonna die. What do you guys think about that statement? Is it really true, or can you sustain a game like that with only, let's say, a mobile version and an expansion every now and then?
I mean, it depends who you ask. A game without a competitive scene attracts a very different audience than a game with a competitive scene. To the point where if the game didn't have Season 2, I probably would stop streaming or stream some other game. It just wouldn't be the type of community I'd be interested in anymore.
Yeah.
Even though if you're not competitive yourself, you do enjoy watching these tournaments because best players are playing those tournaments. So if that's not happening, then yeah, it's kind of dull.
Yeah. It doesn't stop the game being enjoyable to play casually, but it stops there being a purpose to it, if that makes sense. There's no end goal, what's the point?
Yeah.
You're playing a hand of Gwent and going, oh, that was fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Like because there's basically
Lion, you're cutting out.
Yeah, he's cutting out, right? Yeah, but like
Stupid
I
mic.
was talking to Villa, and because he hasn't been playing that much Gwent as of late, because there's nothing to play for. That's what he says, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Some people are saying, okay, you can play Gwent for self improvement, but if you want to improve yourself in the game, you usually do that because there's a reason to, right? But if there's no future in Gwent at the moment, like we don't know when season 2 is, I don't see any reason to try hard at the moment, like because it might never happen. You know, we don't know. Like they said, okay, season 2 is gonna happen, but yeah, that might just be false hopes.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people who are interested in competitive play are running out of patience. You see that more and more often. People saying, I give them time to, let's say, early January. If there is nothing announced by then, I'm gonna quit.
Mm-hmm.
And it must be really frustrating for players like Mulegian, who've been advocating for more communication.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing he got until recently was a Homer Simpson gif.
Homer Simpson.
And he actually complained about that as well, and rightfully so.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough, yeah.
Like, I remember Woody, who's now playing a different game, telling me if there is no season 2 announcement before like December, I'm not gonna ever get back to Gwent, and it doesn't really look like they're gonna announce it anytime soon. Like, we're gonna have a roadmap where they are hopefully gonna talk about the competitive play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's a huge hit. Like, Trynet, you just said that if there is no season 2, I'm gonna quit. It would have serious implications for viewership on Twitch, and you know, without viewership, less people are gonna be interested in Gwent, because a lot of people started playing Gwent because their favorite streamers started playing Gwent. Like, we could see what kind of effect the presence of let's say Life Coach had on the community. Like, he promoted Gwent early on, and a lot of people just followed his example. Like, oh, this guy's playing Gwent, I'm gonna give it a try.
Yeah. And now he's promoting Legends of Runeterra.
Yeah, Runeterra, right? He works for Riot at the moment.
Yeah, and now people will be like, hey, I'm gonna try that out. Like, that's how it works.
Yeah, so I think that if you try and just decided to let's say play Hearthstone on a regular basis, like, your viewers will be more inclined to play Hearthstone.
Maybe.
Yeah, because they want to interact with you about the game, like they want to understand the game, or you know.
Well, if you want to understand the game, my stream is not the place to go. We're hard stuck in PUBGs.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
yeah, no competitive scene would have a disastrous effect on Twitch. That's for sure.
It already has a disastrous effect on Twitch, because the Challenger was the first tournament in 6 months, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that.
And it was 2 months ago, and we haven't heard anything since.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy that I went to Warsaw to watch the Challenger, because, you know.
Yeah, to be part of that last blowout.
Yeah, right? That's what I was just gonna say.
I was really close to going, I'm not gonna lie. It's an expensive plane ticket, but I was almost there.
Yeah, I wish I'd gone. I really do.
Yeah.
You should have convinced Buzia that it should be you to play on iOS instead of Pumpkin.
I mean, they should just buy the ticket for the faction ambassador, right?
Surely.
Speaking of which, like, the topic of Gwent and competitive scene is just so frustrating to discuss because there's not much going on. So let's talk about things that are slightly more positive.
Yeah.
How did you get to be a faction ambassador?
Did we already talk about the whole you just sit and someone eventually messages you and things just happen and fall upward?
Oh yeah.
That's pretty much what happened there too.
It just happens.
That's my answer to pretty much everything. I just like receive a message and things happen.
I just imagine like Pavo or Slama just messaging you like faction ambassador ?
Yeah.
How much?
That's exactly right.
How much?
How much do you offer?
Why is this weird? Is this how it works for everybody?
I'll tell you if it ever happens.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be a faction ambassador for anything. It's not gonna happen. You actually have to be a good player, I guess. Or a knowledgeable player.
True. I'm in trouble then.
Yeah.
But what are you actually doing as a faction ambassador? Because you have to come up with ideas for starter decks. Is there anything else you do? What do you say?
There's no starter decks. Yeah, because it's too skilled, the faction.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It doesn't have a starter deck? I didn't even know.
Nope. But you know, Trynet, you should just make one.
I should.
Yeah, just do it.
Syndicate needs to love Elderbear too.
Yeah, exactly. Some Silver Witchers, maybe.
Classic homecoming experience.
Thunderbolt potions.
Yeah, Thunderbolt potions. Geld of Rivia as their main gold cards.
I think you can teach them about uninteractivity by giving them coin generators and Thunderbolt potion in the same deck.
Synergy.
I think it was you who said that Syndicate has like 30 playable cards, and if you just combine them the way you want, then you have a tier 1 deck.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good cards and a lot of really bad cards. And there's like 30-ish good Syndicate cards. And the rest are reasonably unplayable.
Yeah, like there's so many cards that you don't play in Syndicate.
Yeah, there's not really archetypes. Firestorm doesn't have enough support. The pirate stuff isn't a thing.
Yeah.
There's just Bounty. And Bounty is not really an archetype as much as it's a collection of a couple cards that have synergy. And plays for really good value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if faction ambassadors actually have any say in how a game is being developed, but if you had the chance to suggest a couple of things, what would you do? Like, what kind of archetypes would you like to see in Syndicate?
I mean, I would like to see the clans fleshed out. Sorry, what are they called? Gangs?
The gangs,
not
yeah.
Clans.
Yeah,
Tribes.
The gangs. Yeah,
Tribe, yeah.
Skellige mentality leaking out.
That's a big thing. I would like to see more archetype support across the board in Gwen right now. I think Monsters is in a pretty good spot, and the rest of the factions could all use some work.
Yeah, because monsters have vampires. They have like is Thrive an archetype, really? Because it's been
built, yeah.
It's played everywhere. Like almost every monster deck has some Thrive.
Yeah, but if you want to like build hard for the Thrive stuff, like and play Gurney, you're playing Thrive cards in big units, and you want cards in your deck that tech, but are also able to trigger your Thrives. It does have that build around condition,
and it is playable.
But what archetypes would you like to see then in like other factions? Like, give us some examples.
Squirtle, you could like flesh out elves. Give
Swappatel.
No, not again. Not Swappatel. Not again.
Yeah, like some mechanics that are worth building around.
Yeah.
Skellige, we could maybe revisit this card. I don't know if that's the one you necessarily want to flesh out, but I'm sure there's pirates.
Pirate ships.
Yeah. Like these things that aren't remotely playable right now because they're just so undersupported.
Yeah, the cards are there, but they're not functional. You couldn't win a game with them.
Yeah.
I mean, in the ship.
Like, look, if you try to build a pirates deck, I've done this multiple times this season. You try to build a pirates deck, and you end up with like 20 bronzes in your deck and 2 golds. That's all there is. And you can't play the good bronzes because Priest isn't a pirate. Drakkar is not a pirate. It's a ship, but it doesn't really work with the pirate cards very well.
Yeah, like so. And like you said, like you try to create your own deck, but do you have any advice for people that want to build their own decks? Like because a lot of people are like net decking. So
yeah, I mean net decking's a good place to start.
Yeah,
you get to have an understanding of what makes a deck good, what makes a deck tick when you net deck, and from there, eventually, you're just going to build up an intuition of what works.
I see. So you're saying like.
Try and error.
Try to net deck first. You get to understand what's good, and then
you'll understand why things are good too as you play more.
I suppose it's easier to tinker with a net deck than it is to build one from scratch, right? Until you get used to it. Little changes of I don't like that card, so I'm going to try this instead and see how it works.
Yep,
makes sense.
Exactly like that.
Just taking notes.
How do you actually divide your time? Because like I'm a complete meme player. I never play competitively in any capacity. But you actually divide your time between competitive play and memes. And how do you decide when to play
so
what?
like the first few days of a season is usually like we'll start with like the new stuff that's brand new in the patch. When we got like new cards this patch, we tried the buff wild boar. We tried I don't even know what else changed this patch. There's a bunch of little things that ended up not being very good that all changed. We tried all of that. And then usually we move on to the stuff that ends up being good. We play that once, get a YouTube video up for that, and then we start delving into the more memey of the decks as we run out of good decks to play.
Mm-hmm.
But usually it's once we've exhausted all the good decks, we'll move on to whatever. And we try to play something new every day.
Yeah, I remember that you played like Dandelion Poet with Naglfar, for example, and then all of a sudden you had like Karate Heatwave in the deck. Like, yeah, I can definitely tell from your YouTube videos that you try to experiment a lot with your decks, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the best part is that you sometimes make decks that are somewhat popular, like your Assimilate deck, and I remember just Ace of Place making his own deck, and like being very very proud of it. At the first comment was just this is just trash. Just play Trynet's deck. It's the Gwent community for you.
Yeah.
I mean, my Assimilate deck wasn't very good. It was just really fun, and it could win games, which is better than some other Assimilate decks.
Yeah, when it comes to specifically this archetype, I have that's probably the best quote you're gonna get. Crozer was trying it because he had a challenge, a quest where you have to play a certain amount of cards, and Assimilate is probably the best to do it. And he told me, I've never had this much fun losing.
That could be the new Gwent tagline.
That's Assimilate for you. Like, I'm happy it's not competitive because I'll be the first to whine about it if it was competitive.
I mean, Bribery is a pretty competitive card.
Oh yeah, but it's only a couple of cards that are being played in a Assimilate.
Yeah, it's just that like every game you queue against Nilfgaard's decided by whether they can high roll their Bribery or not.
Yeah, that's another great quote because you can see that Enslave is now listed as tier 2. And then people are saying that depending on how you roll your Bribery makes the difference between honorable mention and tier 2.
Oh yeah. The deck's not actually good, but enough people play it on ladder, and it can steal games from you with Bribery.
Lots of people play it, yeah.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
People just like Nilfgaard. Every season. I don't know what it is.
I even saw a tweet from Bushi that he was saying that like when he creates a video which is dedicated to Nilfgaard, it gets a lot more viewers on YouTube.
Yep. Syndicate is the worst. Fun fact.
People
Feels
don't
great.
like people don't like Hones. People don't like Bounty. People don't like.
No.
Doesn't matter how memey the deck is. You can play Bountyless. You can play like Purifier, Sworn Piles. It doesn't matter. No one wants to watch Syndicate games.
One of the reasons is probably
Says the ambassador.
New faction. Like people haven't had the time to establish some sort of relationship with it. It's like I see a lot of people saying Gwent was not ready for a new faction. It was too early.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Perhaps.
We still have all these other archetypes need to be fleshed out in the other factions.
Yeah.
Like all the best decks. Okay, not all of it. Most of the best decks right now are just mid-range piles. And it's been that way since Homecoming.
Yeah, and the thing is, they did the NR rework was after Syndicate, right?
Yeah.
It was
The release of Syndicate. Like they could have switched it around, which probably made more sense. But yeah, I guess.
Well, maybe we'd have a season that was just full test. There wouldn't have even been DJ.
Yeah. We smart.
we smart boys.
And once again,
Exactly.
things would be so bad, people would actually try it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as Trynet said, people pity the nations.
That was in the pre-stream. We didn't talk about that on stream.
Yeah. So, what are your plans in the coming weeks when it comes to content creation and Trynet?
A couple hours of Gwent, couple hours of Battlegrounds. Played just enough Gwent to get my YouTube videos up.
That's actually the struggle of every content creator who makes videos for YouTube. I'm just gonna play enough to have something on for YouTube.
But there's nothing. Is there not anything specific? Like, I don't know, maybe an article or.
I don't plan more than like a day in advance because you never know when someone's going to send you a message on Discord and everything changes.
Yeah, just
yes, the wait for a message plan.
Anyone
like
that is right now watching, if you have any projects that you want to do with Trynet, just message the guy.
Yeah, basically.
So yeah,
In before Trynet receives a lot of love letters on Discord. Just
Yes.
message the guy. Just don't be afraid. He's just sitting
Up
here
for
waiting
anything,
you.
give it a go.
I mean, yeah, I will definitely hit you up, man, for the oddball tournaments in the coming months. So yeah, just wait for that message.
Actually, there's something we forgot to mention. Because it's the first time you guys are sitting here, BJ and Trynet. So we can finally end the speculations that you are one and the same person.
I mean, the hair is a little bit
Is that a thing?
similar, right?
Yeah, that was the thing. I've
just
seen
that-
that multiple times. Just says that just people saying that Trynet and BJ are the same person.
I mean, I'm definitely the guy with the more flamboyant shirts, right?
I am behind a green screen. I don't know. Maybe
It
we
could be fake.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
We're
Do we
nearing
have
the end.
anything else to discuss? Because in a way, this is a very fun episode where we just enjoy cracking jokes and having a swing at certain parts of Gwent. But on the other hand, the amount of content we can discuss is rather limited due to the meta being what it is. So
Let's talk about Hearthstone.
yeah, we can talk about Hearthstone. Like, I'm very eager to talk about Path of Exile right now, but I don't think it's the right thing to do.
You can do that too.
Switch to a PoE stream.
I know that Lionheart would probably like to hear about that a little bit more.
Merchants
I
of
can't wait for that.
Rayclast. Let's go.
Yes.
Oh wait,
I can't
Trynet is actually aware of PoE lore. Have you actually played?
Ah.
Yeah, I played like
Yeah, it was
1,000
great.
hours.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time we can organize a PoE kind of podcast. There's already a couple of them. There is Bayclass. There is Faded Connections. There is some German podcasts. I'm not sure if there's a market for it, but who knows? Who knows, guys?
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
one of the best part. Like, yesterday was a big announcement because there's ExileCon is like a huge PoE convention going on right now, and they designed cards that allow you to interact with staff members. It's like, cards that are items and they give you stats, and the developers have T-shirts like branding them as monsters, so you can like fight the developers. Like, you have to find them and stuff like that. So
Okay.
like, what people expected at some point was, are they gonna make a card game? Like, since everyone is doing that.
Auto Battler.
Yeah. Go for the scattergun approach, just create something from everything.
Yeah.
Guys, so
Not
any
bad.
additional topics we want to discuss on this episode?
I
We
don't think
talk
so.
about the meta and the state of Gwent. We talk about competitive play and a lack of any news. We talk about what everyone has been doing, and we talk about your personal stuff, trying it, like being a faction ambassador, being a caster. Actually, have you ever considered applying to CTPR? Like, if there is any tournaments in the future, would you like to cast them? Like, would you like to send a tape or something? Because I
Yeah,
heard that's
maybe.
how it's done.
Mm.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten anything in my Discord, so
I don't think
Why
I
have
don't
they
think
not
they're gonna
approached me
send you a
yet?
message. I don't think they're
Yeah.
gonna send you a message, but there's like a place where you can send you tape.
huh?
You
Maybe.
can drop, the hottest mixtape of the year.
Sometimes you have to send the message.
I don't know. I think this sounds like more of a wait until you get a message Discord type thing. That's how the other casting gig worked. I don't see why this wouldn't be any different.
Pavel or Jason, if you're watching, we just like to make sure that you are aware of the fact that Trynet is available for the next tournament.
Just send him a message.
Yeah, just send
Exactly.
a message.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Not on Twitter, but
Yeah, no, not Twitter.
I might
You
never
would.
get that.
So many opportunities missed.
Yeah. So
Yeah, like one day you're gonna log on Twitter and you'll be like, oh, got so many messages. Like Jason Slama, some sponsorship gig. Oh, nice tournament I could participate, and this and that.
So yeah, if anyone in the chat has any questions for Trynet,
That's the time to ask them.
it's the
Yeah.
time to ask them, because soon he will be gone. He will go to bed, and you have to wait for your response in Discord.
And before people just send questions on Discord.
It's happening. Honestly.
So just wait. And eventually opportunities come your way.
Trynet refuses to acknowledge this shirtless stream when. Is that a thing?
Nope.
Tortoise
That
cam
was
when?
I mean, you can do it, right? I saw a dude
Really?
cosplay as Tarzan.
Yeah, you can. You just can't like actively take off your shirt on stream. But you can
Yeah.
start the stream with no shirt on.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he did.
Okay. So no stripping, but pre-stripped is fine.
Yeah. Although you did untie your.
I did it before the stream, so I wasn't stripping.
I
we
see.
smart. We smart.
Well, I
See?
I see.
You see, I knew I'd end up with horrendous music over the. Yeah, no, just no stripping on stream. It's an
Yeah.
entirely different. That's not this site.
But yeah, since there are no questions, maybe.
Yeah,
we
it's
could-
the time for plugs, I guess.
Yeah, or like maybe maybe we could just hop into the plugs as well.
Yeah.
Hey, what did you want to do, BJ?
Yeah, so Trynet, where can people find you? Other than Discord.
Twitch, YouTube, Discord, Twitter.
At Trynet1. At Trynet1.
We can find you. You will not find us
Actually,
there.
maybe last question. Why Trynet123? Was Trynet just already taken?
Trynet was my Justin TV account. I needed to make a Twitch account when I was restreaming Yu-Gi-Oh! Worlds back in like 2012.
Wow.
Yeah. The platforms are like technically linked, but you couldn't stream to Twitch with your Justin TV account. You had to make a separate account for Twitch. But you couldn't reuse any usernames that were on Justin TV. So I had to append to the 123.
I see.
Okay, guys. So if you wanna find Trynet on social media, just look for Trynet123 across all platforms, and you will find him. Daily streams, daily YouTube videos. Right? 7 days a week. 6
Daily
days a
everything.
week?
Yeah, daily YouTube, daily streams. Stream from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Daylight, whatever it
Eastern
is now. Time. Yeah, Eastern time. Let's go with that.
Yeah. For Europeans, when you wake up, Trynet is live.
Yeah, you're always there when I wake up. And that's
actually
I
very
do
fair
24/7 book
assessment.
Gwent. It's nice.
Nice.
Yeah. What about
BJ,
you, Reinhard?
Your
Oh.
turn.
It's my turn. I mean, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter and Discord as well, but you can try really hard to find me because I've not been streaming as of late, but I'm planning to stream in the future again. So yeah, definitely check out my stream.
Probably some Hearthstone.
Auto chess when?
About Hearthstone, man. Just there are a lot of reasons why I don't play Hearthstone or like any games from Blizzard. But yeah. So yeah, check me out on Twitch and Twitter, or if you want to join my Discord, you can always private message me for a link. It's always a lot of fun in my Discord, so yeah. Hope to catch you on my stream sometime.
Lionheart. It's the
Yeah,
first day of your vacation, so it's gonna be a lot of
Oh.
Lionheart action in the upcoming
Heaven.
weeks.
Yes, there is. I have 2 weeks off work, which for anyone who knows me is ridiculous. Today was my first day off work, and I started work at 3 a.m., so I promise you all nothing. But in the coming 2 weeks, there will be a lot of streams on Twitch. I am on Twitter as well, Lionheart __ on Twitch, Twitter, and just Lionheart on Twitch. Generally, it'll be Gwent, but I have not got the patience or self-will that Trynet has to play that daily on Twitch, unfortunately. You will get a lot of RPG mixed in as well. There'll be some co-op play. I think Don't Starve is quite good fun at the moment, so there'll be a bit of that going. Finishing the Outer Worlds as well, because the Yeet Simulator is one of the most enjoyable games I've played in. So yeah, you'll find me pretty much daily for the next couple of weeks.
And your mic is not cutting out on stream.
Miracle!
That's good news.
Yeah, only cuts out in Discord. Stream, we're fine.
Okay, guys, and if for whatever reason you'd like to watch me, well, you can follow me here on Twitch, and you can follow me on Twitter at Weisenberg TV, and if you just look for Weisenberg Gwent on YouTube, you can find me there. I can't promise you how much I'm gonna stream in the next couple of weeks, probably at least once a week, some Gwent, some seasonal, because I really enjoy the mode, and I try to release weekly videos and articles. So just type social and in chat and exclamation mark social, and you'll find all the links. And yeah, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us, Trynet. Really a pleasure to have you on the show.
Good to be here.
Yeah, it was
And
good, man.
BJ Lionheart,
Nice.
thank you as always for co-hosting. And guys, if you want to stay in touch, also off stream, follow us on Twitter at Novigrad Podcast. And this episode is gonna be uploaded on YouTube in a couple of hours. Just type !podcast to get all the links. And if you would like to get all the announcements before everyone else, you can join our Discord. The link is also gonna be there. And yeah, once again, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for chatting with us. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. We already have the guests that we can't really announce right now. It's probably gonna be at some point towards the end of next week. So you guys, have a great weekend. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. We are gonna rate somebody in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Bye, guys.